Hey everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Kaiva Rose and I'm here to offer you the astrology insight for the week of November 5th through November 9th. Before I begin, I would like to thank all of my patrons for your support. And if you would like to receive daily insight, you can go over to patreon.com/Kaiva Rose, because even though I don't post on social media, I am always posting for my patrons. And so if you've been missing my content, just head over to patreon.com/Kaiva Rose and you will never miss a day. So, as we begin this week, I'm sure you all are aware that we are in eclipse season, and if you are not, we are in eclipse season. And so if you're starting to feel all of these emotions that have maybe kind of been lurking under the surface, coming out of yourself, coming out of other people, asking you to look, asking you to be aware, this is where we are all at right now. And this is where we can bring our consciousness to not judge those emotions, but to just work through them, to not attach ourselves to those emotions, but just allow us to understand that we do need to work through some of these emotional issues. And it's also important to ask yourself too, when other people bring their emotional stuff to you, is it worth your energy and time? Is it your emotional baggage to have to deal with? And so you might have noticed these themes over this past week. And as we approach this next eclipse on November 8th, it's just going to get a little bit more pronounced. Starting this week's astrology report on November the 5th, we have the Sun conjunct the South Node and thus opposing the North Node. And we also have Venus opposing Uranus. The emotional level might be high today, so allow yourself to ground into that stability that you have created for yourself, so you don't self-sabotage and destroy all the progress that you've made. Allow yourself to see the value in addressing these deep-seated emotions, and allow yourself to see that you don't need to get so involved in other people's stuff, because there's an opportunity to release all of that. And allow yourself to just feel your own stability and address those emotional issues that you have. Address those emotions from that state of groundedness, right? Because again, you don't want to destroy all the progress you've made. Instead, really honor how far you've come and see why these emotions are coming up now, because it is part of the process. And allow yourself as well to really honor progress that you've made and honor how you've allowed yourself to break through the norms, break through the traditions, break through those habits that have been holding you back, that have not been allowing you to grow. And so value how you feel right now and allow those emotions to show you how you are grounding into a more stable reality. It might feel like it's fluctuating, it might feel like it's turbulent, but really when you see what you have been committing to and what you have been breaking through and how you're creating a more sturdy, stable foundation for yourself to grow and evolve, allow yourself to ground into that and to know that when you address these emotions, when you address other people's emotions, you're really allowing yourself to say, I am ready to really be this person that I have set myself up to be. And so don't get swayed by the emotions. Allow yourself to find that ground and stability, and know that if you can do that and you can focus on what you have been creating for yourself, this will be a lot easier on this day. So don't get lost in the emotions. Allow yourself to honor them, work through them, and know that you are doing the work. And so do the work. On Sunday the 6th, we have Mercury conjunct the South Node, thus opposing the North Node. Consciously listen and observe the emotional reality taking place. Don't allow yourself to get bogged down mentally. Instead, allow yourself to really acknowledge the emotions that are coming through, whether they be your own or others, and really see that you don't have to attach or have any sort of judgment around them at all. The reason these emotions are really coming up is asking you to look, to observe, to be conscious, to work through. And so allow yourself to look them straight in the eye, to really listen to yourself and what's going on mentally and work through that. Sometimes it helps if you just detach a little bit from those emotions and just observe them. Just see what are they bringing up for you and what are they really telling you. Because what is going on is the reason why these emotions are coming up from below the surface is because you are allowing yourself to grow and evolve. And in order to do that, you have to address these emotions if you want that stability in your life. And so allow yourself to really work through these emotions. Don't allow yourself to get bogged down mentally. If you need to take a step away from the emotions and just write about them, observe them, just use them as a tool of discovery of how you can allow yourself to release so that you can find that inner stability for your own evolution and growth. On Monday the 7th, we have Venus square Saturn. It's important you limit what you identify with within the collective experience because you need to let go of the need to balance things that are truly out of your control. If you want to bring harmony to the collective waters of our experience, think about committing to yourself and what's your role and what you are here to do within this collective. Really honor your strengths, commit to your higher purpose, and allow yourself to really allow that to be the change that you're making in this world. You don't have to over-identify with everything going on. It's more important that you serve the community, that you serve the collective with what you truly represent for the greater whole. On Tuesday the 8th, we have the full moon eclipse at 16 degrees Taurus at 5:01 a.m. Central Time. We have Mercury conjunct the Sun, and we have Mercury opposing Uranus. Let the emotional waves pass over you as you may experience the heightened pressure to look at other people's emotional stuff. There's no need to judge. There's no need to have any attachments. There's no need to identify. Just witness those emotions. Just witness how you are kind of feeling internally and allow yourself to feel that you might feel like there's no ground below you. And so instead of feeling called to really do anything about that, just allow yourself to settle into the moment and allow yourself to know that this is an eclipse. And there is sort of this feeling of floating, uncertainty, and there might be that heightened sense of other people's stuff coming to the surface. And so don't allow yourself to get overly involved or even need to have anything to do with it at all. Just really ground into yourself. Because there are these opportunities later in the day when you might all of a sudden, when Mercury is Cazimi, you'll have a sudden strength, a mental strength, where you'll redefine your purpose, where you'll find your words, and you'll be able to communicate. But that'll be about 5 hours after the eclipse. The eclipse happens at 5:01 a.m. and then Central Time, and then Mercury will be Cazimi at 10:42 a.m. Central Time. So there'll be a few hours where you might just kind of feel like you're swimming and there's no ground below you, but you will eventually find your mental strength and your words. And so just allow it to happen naturally. Because later in the evening, when Mercury is opposing Uranus, you're gonna really have to consider and assess the emotional implications for what has occurred and what has been broken down and what standards and norms have really kind of been shattered. And so just be aware that this is a day when things are going to change. Who knows what's really going to happen? It's election day. But just know that there is something that's going to happen where it is going to kind of break down what we're used to. And so just be prepared for that. That later in the evening when that Mercury is opposing Uranus, you're really going to have to understand and maybe feel and address those emotional things that are coming to the surface. It's almost like when there's an earthquake, right? Like it's the energy that's coming up. It's the stuff that was below the surface. And now you have to, or actually more like a volcano, right? The stuff that was below the surface comes spewing out and you have to look at it and you have to know that things are different now. So just be aware on this eclipse day that things might be different moving forward, and to just prepare yourself knowing that the more you ground into you, the more you ground and center yourself, and just know that you don't have to get involved so intensely with anybody else's stuff. Just witness, allow people to go through whatever they're going through, and know that as long as you have that strength inside of you to just ground and center, you will be just fine. On Wednesday, November 9th, we have the Sun opposing Uranus. The emotional depths are going to be illuminated by the shifting of standards and norms. Let this emotional illumination encourage you to see why these emotions need to come to the surface, because you need to continue to break through the norms and the habits that have been holding you back from your own progress. And so be aware that as these emotions are really illuminated, they've come to the surface, they're above the surface, you can't ignore them. They've come to that place for a reason, because you are doing the work to break down the norms, the traditions, the standards that hold you back. And so this happens on a personal level, but this is also going to happen on a global level. And so just expect that whatever emotional trauma is being risen at this time, know that it needs to come to the surface, because there are things that are changing on a bigger level for the greater good, but it might be hard to see. And so allow yourself on this day to just, again, ground into your truth. Know what work you are doing and commit to further breaking down those habits, those traditions, those standards, those norms that limit you from your own evolution and progress. That's all for this week's astrology report. If you would like a personal reading, you can contact me at 11kaivarose33.com. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I am also on patreon.com/Kaiva Rose. If you want to go over there and get daily content, I post there majority of the days that there are astrological happenings. So other than that, I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.